Hi guys, what's going on? It's Scarlet Ari here, and I'm back. I guess I don't know. This might be my last fucking thing like this. I don't know if I'm gonna do it for the 5th league I'm in, just because college is a bitch. Like, I might, but it's definitely gonna be a lot more low effort. It's Showdown, which means it's easier to upload, but I'll probably also be delaying that as well. But yeah, SPC, Wi-Fi League, all that great stuff. Unfortunately, with the 20-minute timer and all that, which kinda is the reason why I built a more, as you will see, an offensive team that's just kinda like get kills and like revenge kill-esque, because that's kinda how you have to play on Wi-Fi. That's about it. I think oh shoot, I put my pick number, I didn't put where I picked in the draft. I was a wheel pick though, and I believe there were 12 of us, or no, 8 of us per division, which was really nice. There were 4 divisions, 8 of us per division, so I'm really happy about that. I was in the Shiyu division, my little guy right there, just unfortunately did not fall to me. Probably would have picked it, but did not fall to me. So anyways, let's get on with the video. I want this to kind of be a little shorter, but I know that probably won't be the case. Anyways, first pick, Palafin somehow. I don't know about somehow, but it fell to me. So I'm obviously going to take it. I've not played with Palafin yet. I've not even like dabbled with it. Like, I've dabbled with Chiyu and Goldango and other mons like that because OU, but I didn't dabble with mons like Palafin. Palafin was 20 points, I believe. The max was 20 or 24, I don't know. But Palafin's a monster. I think everyone knows what it does. It likes to flip turn out so that it can get its 0 to hero. And then it can just kinda click buttons. 160 base power, 100 speed tier is pretty solid in this meta game. It's new. I might as well add that. And then the Terra type I got directly was meant for Palafin. It was meant to kind of just make it a monster. So I'm happy with Palafin, and yeah, it was kind of the mod I wanted to build around with this team. And although I believe I got sniped so many times, I think in this draft, but aside from all the sniping and all that and whatnot, still, I like the team that came out, even if the speed tiers I kind of met. But with that all being said, the wheel pick, I think it's important to kind of bring these two together, is Ting Lu, which again is a new mon. It was only 14 points, which is really nice for me because I think it's one of the best walls in the game. However, I get why it's not really the best, just because it has, like, you know, a water weakness, it has a bug weakness, it has a fighting weakness, it has a fairy weakness, a lot of common types, grass weakness. Very, very common types to have weaknesses to. However, I think it pairs at least decently with Palafin, just because Palafin's weak to electric, Ting Lu is immune to electric, so it kind of has a nice little pairing off the bat. Ting Lu's also probably one of my favorite tanks. I haven't even used it, but the stat distribution, the move pool, is all stuff that I like. It's very bulky, and it hits like a fucking truck. Perfect. That's exactly what I want from a tank. I didn't mention this on the cool shit area, but it gets hazards. It gets, I don't know if it gets spikes, but I know it gets... Actually, I think it does get spikes. I forget if it gets... I'm pretty sure it gets spikes and rocks. One or the other, something like that. But that's nice. Gets whirlwind, ruinations, 50 base power. It's like nature madness, pretty much. Yeah, and these two just kind of go off each other. I would have liked if maybe Ting Lu hit on the special side, but aside from that, I mean, that's what I can ask for. Round 3 came along, and around this time, in this, you pick Terras. You pick the Terra, like, type as, like, the captain, I guess, or the type that every mon can only Terra into, and all that shebang. So I was looking at other drafts because we were all going on simultaneously, and I noticed people started picking like around 2, and by this like time, all of round 2 had passed, and all of round 3 had passed. So all of that had passed, and nobody had picked a Terra type. So I was in a spot where I either don't pick a Terra type, and I risk losing the Terra type I want, which is the best Terra type, which kind of already gives it away, or I forget which way I put it, but I think you know what I mean. I either miss the Terra type I want, or I'm stuck with seconds, or I get the Terra type I want a little bit early. So that's kind of how you have to play with draft, and I decided that I should probably pick my Terra type, because Terra Water is by far the best Terra type in the game. Offensively it's amazing, with definitely mons like Palafin. And kind of where I wanted the team to go, it was going to be like insane. My team was going to hit like a fucking truck. You would have never guessed my team would lose a game. It was going to be that good. Like, but unfortunately plans got derailed, and I had to kind of like throw some shit together. Kind of landed, kind of didn't. That's besides the point. But Terra Water, best Terra type, amazing offensive, especially for Palafin, and defensive for Ting Lu and for other mons you're going to start seeing, just because some of the weaknesses that one mon might have, Terra Water makes them resistances, or even makes them neutral, which is just all you can ask for. But yeah, you're probably going to see a ton of just Terra Water Palafin, because it's so easy. It's just so easy to just slap it on and just start clicking buttons. Like, you're probably going to see that a lot, but some defensive mons might run it, some mons that need a little bit more damage might run it. Kind of see how that goes. Up next, 4th round pick, was Iron Jugulus, which might seem like a weird pick, especially since I don't think Hydreigon got drafted, and if it did, it was like very, very late in the draft. So why pick Iron Jugulus out of literally every mon? And I think I can just very simply, literally the first 3 mons have been new. I think it's very simple to say, I want to try, and I've been saying this, I want to try all the mons. I want to start seeing what kind of works with them, what kind of doesn't work with them, just so that I know, so that for future teams that I build, I'll know, like, hey, what does this mon impact for my team, what mons can beat it on my team, like all that kind of stuff. I kind of get that information from using it, and then also from knowing what my, like, when this shows up on my opponent's team, I know, hey, this is kind of what it does, what it can do. Like, Iron Jugulus gets knock, can turn, it gets a ton of stuff, 108 speed tier. Like, I kind of know some more information. So it's kind of why I'm going some more newer mons. That's why I think all of my drafts have been like 50% or more new. So that's gonna be a trend for a while, at least until probably, I assume, like summer is probably when you start seeing more like just kind of traditional teams, or like teams where it's not 50% Gen 9. But yeah, that's kind of that. But the reason why I did pick Iron Jugulus, though, just not because of his new, but because of moved access and where I wanted to take the team at the time. I guess I could just kind of say it because it's not where it went. I was gonna build a really, really fucking dangerous rain team. I was gonna have Iron Jugulus, which could spam hurricanes. I was gonna have Palafin, which sets up the rain and can momentum into other mons. I was gonna have Floatzel, which again also takes advantage of the Water Terra. The only thing I didn't really have was a special mon that could really take advantage. I think I was looking at like Golduck or mons like that, mons that are just kind of like underrated. Like, I think Floatzel was like 4 or 6 points. So I was looking at that, and the mon was gonna be like, the team was gonna be like half rain, half not. So I kind of have like some balance and different play styles I could use, and it was gonna be really good. But fortunately, that did not really pan out. So Iron Jugulis is kind of left in a weird spot. I still do like it. The only thing I don't like is inconsistent hurricanes. Dark Pulse is fun. U-Tune for momentum. It doesn't hit as hard, but it hits like around the same as Hydreigon, so I'm not too concerned about it. Like all that, but I'm very excited to use it. And yeah, it gets momentum and all that fun stuff. So round 5, round 6. I've been saying this, and you're gonna probably hear me say I've been saying this, like stuff like that, but I've been saying for a little bit that fairy types got nerfed, or fairy types, there's less fairy types, and I don't value fairy types as much. Well, that's true, and I still all believe that. Having a fairy type is still amazing. Like, it's still really good to have a really good fairy type. And Hat is probably one of the better fairy types. Especially for this team that kind of doesn't really want hazards when I have them on like Iron Jugulis, or even them on like Palafin, which doesn't take the boosted damage. But Palafin also doesn't want that chip damage, so that it could be possibly revenge killed. So having a mon that can bounce them away, another mon that really does like Terra Water, so that it can get rid of like a ghost weakness, or you know, I forget what it's, poison weakness, steel becomes resisted, like it can kind of just get some of its stuff away, which is always nice. Same with Iron Jugulis. I think Iron Jugulis can surf, I could be mistaken, but a lot of my mons can get boosted water type attacks, and a lot of my mons like having the water as the defensive type. So some good stuff like that. And yeah, so the main reason why I picked Hat, first off, I don't think I've used it. I don't think I've ever used Hat, and if I have, it's been maybe once. So there's that. And it has an insane 139 special attack, I think, or 136 or something crazy. So you could also do that. Trick Room, of course. You already see some slower mons that can kind of take advantage, aka Tinglu and itself. So yeah, it's just a nice little cleric, hazard support, tank mon, and it fits the team pretty well. So moving on with the round pick, I decided, hey, if I'm going in, I don't have my dragon yet. I don't know if oh no, I did pick a dragon. Yeah, I think that's literally my next pick or something. But at this point, I didn't, like, obviously I was like, I want to build around Palafin, but we are 6 rounds deep. I do not have, or before this pick, I was 5 rounds deep, and I only picked a water type, right? What I've been saying is I like to, whatever mon I begin with, whether that's Palafin, whether that's Chi-Yu, whether that's even, I don't know, like Iron Hands, I like to build a core around them. If that means in Iron Hand's case, an electric ground poison or a fighting dark psychic core, or in the case of Palafin, a water fire grass, or in the case of Chi-Yu, fire water grass, or a dark fighting psychic core. I like building around a core around that mon. And at this point in the draft, there really weren't a lot of good fire types and a lot of good grass types that I could really associate with Palafin, which kind of put me in a tricky spot, because who did I want to build around? What kind of core am I looking at? I could have went a fighting dark psychic surrounding Tinglu, which I kind of already started, or surrounding Iron Jugulis, which again I already kind of started, just really missing that fighting type. But I decided instead to go in a very different direction, and that was a fairy dragon steel core, which is obviously a really good core. It's one of the best cores in the game if you can use it right. And I'm saying if because I don't know if my team really likes this fairy dragon steel core. Fortress Hat are the first 2 mons, but I wanted to give it a shot because it also gives me a chance to use another new mon, which you'll be seeing soon. But Fortress, what it adds to my team is hazards. I already have hazards with Tinglu, and I already have hazards support with Hat, so why not kind of meld them together into one with Fortress, which like Hat and like Ting-Lu is a tank. Like Ting-Lu is a physical tank, I should say. But like Hat, it gets some hazards, like hazard removal, I guess, or like preventing hazards. And then also, like none of, actually not like also, but like none of them, it gets removal with rapid spin. So I think it kind of fit that. Also, it also gives me even more momentum because I already have Palafin, I already have Iron Jugulus, and Hat and Ting-Lu don't have momentum options. I think Hat might have like Baton Pass, but Baton Pass always has some restrictions and whatnot, so I didn't really want to mess with that, I guess. Oh my god, my pins are stained. Whoops. I can feel it. I'm sorry. Off topic is really fun. But yeah, Fortress just kind of adds a lot of stuff to this team that I'm really happy about, and that's why I picked it. Can fill a ton of roles, and yeah, very reliable. Next pick, I was very much alluding to this, and it's a mon I really haven't tried out. On paper, offensively, it looks insane. Excalibur, I forget what its offensive stat is, but it's insane. It gets Icicle Spear. I don't know if it gets Scale Shot, but it gets what, like Label Rush or something, which is like a 120 no drawback Dragon Titan. Insane. It's a physical mon, which kind of adds to my already insane physical core with Palafin and Ting-Lu already. So I really like Excalibur, but I mean the biggest appeal for me obviously was a V. I mean, this is a mon I've never used before, never even thought about trying. I kind of thought it was like, I don't know if it'll be worth the 16 points because I've heard some varying things about Excalibur. Even though it's 87 speed, it's pretty slow compared to a lot more sweepers. Doesn't really have the best defensive type, weak to fairy fighting. Dragon itself, and it's only neutral against ice instead of like a resistance. It's also neutral against fire. Like, what, I didn't really know what to really do with Excalibur, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't know how good it would be, so I'm taking a pretty big risk with drafting Excalibur and like having my own Fairy Dragon Steel Core around this, but I think it'll pay off. I think I should be able to do wonders with it. It's kind of the mon I like, especially for Wi-Fi, where it's bulky. Even though I just said like not the best defensive type, it's still bulky. It's still gonna take a hit from neutral types and non-spec mons and stuff. It has decent bulk. I can't remember what the bulk is, but it's a fun mon, new toy, and yeah. Also, 87 speed here is pretty nice. It's starting to bridge that gap, which you will end up seeing is never bridged completely. But up next is my 8th pick, and right here was where I was like, alright, what the fuck do I do? Like, I think it was after this pick where I was like, I have too many physical attackers. And Toadscroll kind of helped. I mean, technically it's a special attacker, and it's technically 100 base speed, but this, you're not going to see this thing running Scarf for anything stupid like that. This is a defensive mon, and it's new, and it's a support, and it's a tank. With Rapid Spin, its ability makes it so that it can always hit with its status moves, I think, besides, like, Protect, maybe. Gets Spore, like, a Spore that could always hit is pretty insane, besides it obviously hitting, like, Protect. And I think it like ignores ability. I don't know if it ignores types, but I know it ignores abilities and shit. So like, Glue Drug gets slept if it has Sap Sipper. And, like, pretty cool, pretty cool. It's also a ground type. I like having my Electric Resist. Be a grass type. Obviously, this is a little different because this is a grass ground, so it's not really an Electric Resist to immunity. But nevertheless, I like it. It's Torterra typing. I wish this had a water immunity. I think that would have made it like really good. But I'll take its other ability. I'll take what is it? Mycelian Might, whatever. It's a decent ability. Grass ground, decent defense and typing. I can't really say much besides that. And yeah, I mean, U-turn weak kind of sucks, but it also only takes 6% from rocks. Moving on. We have Magneton. And at this point in the draft, I think it was before the Toad Scroll pick is when I started getting like heavily sniped. Or around the Fortress pick, I should say, it was when I started getting like heavily sniped. And by this point, I had no idea what to do. I was looking at my type matchups, and I was realizing, hey, I don't really have a lot of fairy resistance. It's literally only Fortress, and 2 of my main mons are very. Actually, 3 of my main mons are very weak. So I was just kind of like, fuck it, let's get Magneton. Eviolite, it has Terra Water now, so that it could, you know, get rid of its ground type weakness and the fire type weakness and all that. But I really had no idea where to go. So Magneton's just kind of here as like a, what is it, like a stop filler or whatever, where it's like it's here to do a job, nothing much else about it. It just kind of does its thing. I put it as a tank. Not really, but I guess the way I want to use it is a tank, so why not? It's a special attacker, which again adds to my lack of special attackers, so yeah, I could play it could play a decent amount of roles. I don't know how often I'll bring it, just because Fortress kind of does a lot of things I like, and then it's my only electric type, so I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about Magneton. I just hope it's at least decent, and it plugs the speed tier gap at least a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. My 10th mon might be one of my more important mons, and that's the Salazzle. I actually wasn't even planning on picking this mon, but like I've been saying, I've gotten sniped a lot of times. I think Flareon was on my board, and then I forget what else was on my board, but I know that for certain. But Salazzle, obviously Terra Water is pretty nice for it, especially since it's, you know, weak to water. It's also weak to ground, so again, with kind of getting rid of a big weakness, quad weakness thing. Yeah, I mean, you might see it come as like a subset, especially if it's the fastest thing. If my opponent has like a 110 or 100 as their highest, this is probably going to come. Probably just going to do a sub protect toxic, or just revenge killer, just can outspeed everything, and if it gets in range, it probably comes out and threatens, or something like that. I don't know what I really want to plan on doing Salazzle, doing all that, but it's a special attacker. It's a special attacker. It does all the fun stuff. Whatever. Yeah, speed does cool stuff. And last mon is Altaria. 4 points. Not a lot to do with it. It's a dragon type again. The biggest thing is defog, because I only have 1 spinner. So I'm gonna have to bring a defogger, bring something. It's also a bulky or dragon type. Then Excalibur, it also can take advantage of Terra Water with it getting rid of that ice weakness. Support, this thing gets like fucking Will-O-Wisp. I don't know why, it gets some nice support moves like that. Haze, like, it's a decent mon for 4 points, so I might as well take it. That's gonna wrap up my team. I'm happy with it. I mean, like, am I don't know, but it's decent. It's good enough. And hopefully we win some games. That's gonna be it for me, just because I kind of want to wrap this up because my roommate's back, and I didn't know when they would be back. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and see you next time.